everybody, and welcome to the Joe Kilgallon Podcast, aka Kilgallon's Pub. I'm your host, stand-up comedian extraordinaire, Joseph Kilfucking-Gallon. I was going to slide the middle name in there, but it just didn't feel middle name worthy of that intro. Like every podcast, at least most of them, I like to start off with a little bit of gratitude. So thank you, the listener, the watcher, however you consume this podcast, for checking this shit out. You keep me going, damn it. You really do. And I hope you're having yourself a wonderful week. Got the holiday season approaching us. Don't be last minute shoppers now. Do the impulse thing. Do it. Say you're walking around, you're like, you know what? I came here to get myself a bag of apples and a protein shake. You know what I mean? I was going to get myself a Celsius and some condoms. That's the shopping you do, right? That's not the shopping I do. That's the shopping you do. And then you see a gift where you're like, you know what? So-and-so would love that. But I was expecting to get it. Put it in your fucking cart. Put it in your fucking cart. That's the mantra we're going with this season. Put it in your fucking cart. You'll be happier for it. Trust me on that one. I'm rocking my Chicago Bears shirt that I got at a thrift store. It's got legendary Chicago Bears head coach Mike Ditka. You guys might know him from the movie Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell. And he's an NFL analyst and a man who has a wonderful mustache and an NFL tight end Hall of Famer. He was the head coach when the Chicago Bears were the greatest team of all time, the 1985 Bears, 15-1. Some of you might be thinking the Dolphins were undefeated and they won the Super Bowl. 12-0, smaller league. The Bears fucking destroyed motherfuckers. Okay, not only did they beat teams, they fucked them up. Think about what the Chicago Bears did in 1985. Not only did they win the Super Bowl, but in week 13 that year, they released a single. That's right, they released a song. They were champions and recording artists. But before they were champions, they were recording artists. The song was called the Super Bowl Shuffle. A lot of you younger listeners aren't going to know this. Anyone in the age between 35 and 45, 30 to 45, I don't think I have listeners older than that. Maybe I do. Maybe you're 65 and you just dig this podcast. Welcome. I'm not ageist. You'll remember that song. It was very 80s rap. Rap was very slow in the 80s, and it was a lot of like clapping your hand stuff. Even the cool black guys in the 80s, they had about as much rhythm as a 2004 white guy. Just not great, right? Real slow claps, you know, kind of like this move. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see what I'm doing. Actually, I think the podcast is going to be exclusive to YouTube for a while. I hope you're cool with that. If you want the audio, Patreon, you can join for as little as $3 a day. But think of that. The balls, the audacity to release a song called the Super Bowl Shuffle before the NFL playoffs even began. That was the Bears in 85. That kind of confidence. Like they knew. Not only were they going to show up at your place, they're the type of people that would mess you up, destroy you, hurt you, and then take your girlfriend out to dinner. And not even like in a bad way. You weren't thinking, are they going to hook up with my girlfriend? No, they were respectful. They took her out to dinner, talked about things, what they expected out of you, how the relationship was going, what were her needs. They weren't there to try to steal her from you. They were there to let you know that they fucking could. That was the 85 Bears, greatest NFL team of all time. So anyway, I'm rocking the shirt. It's Mike Ditka riding a Chicago Bear that seems to be flying through the air while riding a football. The Bear's riding a football. Ditka's holding a deep dish pizza. And for some reason, just Chris Farley's head is there, and it says above him, "Holy Schnikes." Phenomenal shirt, right? I love it. It was a find. It was a goddamn find. The Bears are 7-3. We don't really get to a lot of sports talk on this podcast, but let's lead off with it. Eagles and Bills are the other two powerhouses. The Eagles are 8-2, I believe. Not Chiefs. They're 5-4, right? They're disappointing some people. But the Bills are also 7-3. And the Bears are just winning ugly. They're winning ugly. But to quote my favorite show right now, Shorzy, they don't ask how, they ask how many. How many of the Bears won? 7, right? 7-3. They've won 7 out of 10. Have they looked good in the process? Not so much. Not always, no. Different aspects have looked good. There's been a game where, holy shit, Caleb is really looking like he's going to mature into an all-pro quarterback. Look at that leader out there. Then there's games where it's like, is Caleb playing without contacts? I don't know. Then there's games where it's like, the offensive line has really stepped up. Then there's games where it's like, do they have the runs? Do they have diarrhea? Why are they kind of are holding their hips together in a way that makes me think they're worried they're going to shit their thighs. I don't like that. Then there's plays where the linebackers are coming through, the pass rush, the defense, but not all at once. But still, they're winning without that. That's what's encouraging to see. Meanwhile, our rookie head coach, Ben Johnson, is getting more and more confidence because I do think he's a smart guy. I think he's a guy that knows how to lead dudes. I think he knows how to get people all jacked up and rowdy. And come playoff time, you're going to need that. I actually don't want us to get a first-round bye, believe it or not. This doesn't look like the team that would benefit from a first-round bye. They've won a lot of close games. They love that tension. They love that momentum. I don't want them sitting around for 2 weeks. So, no, I don't want a first-round bye. I want them to stay where they are, win the NFC North, of course. I don't want a wild card. I want first round at home, and that's what I want going forward. We got 7 games left, Bears fans, and I'm hoping to see more and more of what we're seeing right now. And I want us to enjoy it because it doesn't come around often, as we know. It just doesn't. All right, let's slide into some other things, if we could talk about a few other things here. I've got some notes. By the way, I got a new phone case finally, and I'm very pumped about that because the other one was just barely holding on. Here's what I wanted to do. Oh, first of all, I had to go off on this. And then I'll do the big thing. I wanted to do 5 easy, quick things you could do to turn around some depression, turn around a sad mood. So I'm going to list 5 things that I think will help you in your time of need. Have helped me in the past. Maybe they'll help you. So I am a Chicagoan. I just went off about the Chicago Bears for a while. One of my favorite places on planet Earth is Wrigley Field. Love Wrigley Field. Every time I walk in there, and I go in there all the time, I feel at home. There is something special about being there. It is a federal landmark after all. It's a 111-year-old building, tons of history. Sadly, not a lot of World Series victories there or games for that matter. But it's just a special, special place to me. And recently I heard someone say, oh, Wrigley Field. So that's like the first corporately named ballpark then. And I instantly had a flashback to a time I had to correct a friend of mine. So when you grew up in the city of Chicago, you're either a Cubs fan or a Sox fan. If you root for both, you either don't like sports at all or you're from the suburbs or you're a transplant. But if you were born and raised in the city, you have to pick Cubs or Sox. That's how it goes. You do not root for both. Now, I remember when the White Sox ballpark went from being called Comiskey Park to U.S. Cellular Field. And because it's a rivalry, I gave some of my White Sox fan friends some guff over that. I was like, U.S. Cellular Field. That's what you guys are called now. I mean, you're embarrassed, right? You have to be embarrassed to have your ballpark be called that. Like, talk about just putting your head right up corporate ass, you know? And my buddy was like, oh, really? Really, dude? Your ballpark's called Wrigley. Really, dude? He's like, your ballpark's called Wrigley. It's named after a gum. And then I'd just be like, no, dickhead. It's named after a last name. The Wrigley family. Those are people. Mike Wrigley is a dude I met once. William Wrigley was the first owner. Then his son, Philip Knight Wrigley. That's a family. They named their gum after their family. They named the ballpark after their family name. Why the fuck would you think it was named after the gum? If it was called Juicy Fruit Field, fine, you dickhead. But it's not. All right? And I actually said that. I go, Wrigley is a family name, you fucking dork. And I said that at a party. There was a lot of people around. This was by DePaul University. And I'll tell you what, the line to suck my dick started very soon, very quickly after. They were lining up. And I remember it like it was the greatest day of my life. It was one of the greatest days of my life. Because when you own someone that badly, that the opposite sex is instantly sexually charged up, it's a great feeling. You know, there's certain feelings in your life that you never forget. I hit 3 home runs in a Little League game when I was 12. That's right. I went 4 for 4 with 3 home runs and a triple. Never had a good game again after that, but I never forgot that game. You know, I had a game-winning shot in basketball when I was 13. Never going to forget that. Will I forget the day I made that White Sox fan feel extra stupid and then everyone around me became instantly attracted to me? No. I'll never forget that. That's my problem. I had too many of those highlight reel moments way too early on in my life. You know, I peaked in grade school, and then I had another peak, an attitude peak, in which I was just crushing people in debates. That was the thing. And we were still friends. That was the thing. There used to be a time where you would literally call your friends assholes and dickheads and all these other mean things, and you were totally fine. I kind of miss that a little bit. We've lost that. We got to be able to give each other a hard time again. You know, tell your buddy, dude, shut the fuck up. Just say that to a friend sometimes. I want you guys to try this. Next time you're hanging out with a group of friends and one of them's acting a little bit douchey, just be like, dude, shut the fuck up. I mean, don't say it like you're going to punch them, but more like this. Shut the fuck up. Like, I gotta practice it. I think I'm too used to saying it with a little bit of anger behind me. So you got to kind of say, dude, shut the fuck up. Would you just shut the fuck up? Like, we'll work it in. We'll work it in. We'll play with it a little bit. All right, so here's the big thing I wanted to talk about this episode. I came up with a fun list because I was thinking about things. I call this 5 quick hits to cheer you up, like 5 quick things you could do day of that could really turn around your day, turn around your attitude, turn around your mindset, and turn around your week. You know, sometimes you're having a bad week, you're off to a bad start, lousy Monday, Tuesday's not looking better. Here's what you could do. Number 1, get a haircut. If you can, get yourself a chop. You know what I mean? A little tight back on the sides, all around the back. Leave a little up front because people like to run their hair through your hair. People like to run their fingers through your hair, you know? So again, getting a haircut, that's a mood changer. Number 2, brand new pair of underwear. New clothes in general, but underwear and socks, brand new, just coming up around your body. You're feeling, oh my God. Fellas, you get a brand new pair of boxer briefs that are just tight enough in the right spots where you're still comfortable. You could still swing it. But you're feeling confident. Instant mood changer. Better than any kind of pill. Number 3, what I call an everything shower. You know what I mean? One of those showers where you dig in. You know you're going to be in there for 20 minutes. You're not letting gravity take some spots. You know what I mean? You're getting detailed and you're getting into it. Right? And you're planning, right? You got to plan it. You know, when you leave the conditioner in there, don't you stand there, do other things again. Go a second layer. You're going to waste a lot of soap. That loofah is going to be whatever you use, washcloth, whatever you got. Bar soap still. Some people, I've heard of lately, people are kind of against this bar of soap. I do both. I got a bar in there. I also got the liquid soap. I like a good bar because I feel like you could really scrub some areas that need scrubbing. I won't use the bar every time, but you know, sometimes you got to really get in there. You should be getting in there every time, but there's a difference. I don't want anyone questioning me. I smell wonderful. But we know there's your routine 10-minute daily shower, and then I say once, sometimes twice a week, or depending on what you did. If you got yourself a good workout in, then you do the everything shower, and some, you know, you gotta go hard. Gotta go hard in the paint. You know what I mean by that? You know what I mean by that? Is that a metaphor? You fucking bet your dick it's a metaphor. You gotta get in there. You got belly, any kind of crevice. Create a crevice, bend to the side, make you contort yourself a little bit and get in those regions, you know, iron out some veins, just find a way to you know, squirt it up some holes, whatever gets you clever, whatever makes you feel good. All right. So number 4 on my list, and these aren't really in an exact order because you could put them in any order you want. Watch a favorite show. You know, I was down in the dumps recently. I threw on the show Scrubs, a show I have not watched in some time, and it instantly brought me back to a happy time in my life. And I was feeling good because it was just good to have something on that you could look up, smile, get some laughs from, and also, you know, be distracted a little bit. I was reading a book at the same time. I was scrolling my phone, but it was comforting. You know what I mean? It's almost like a good fragrance. You know, there's a certain smell that's just comforting where you want it in the air constantly. That's what a good show does to the background of your life. Speaking of the show, unless the episode where Brendan Fraser dies, spoiler alert, I should have said spoiler alert first, that episode fucking kills me, man. That's a really sad episode. Scrubs did that every now and then. Every season they'd throw 1 or 2 really tear jerkers at you. And you'd be like, why, Bill Lawrence? Why? This is supposed to be a goofy hospital show. And then he'd be like, well, it's a hospital. And you're like, fair enough. I learned some good lessons from that episode, so thank you. All right, number 5. And you might not have a sweet tooth, but if you have a sweet tooth, dig into it. If you don't have a sweet tooth, you have to substitute with whatever you're craving it's to be. Because you know what I did? I was having a really rough morning like a month or 2 ago, and I just dropped off my kids at school, and I had to get gas, and I went in to pay because I had cash on me, and I saw ice cream, and I got myself a Snickers ice cream bar at like 8:40 in the morning, and I had a great day after that. The rest of the day was just looking up, straight heat, just, you know, pocket full of aces. And it was good. I remember thinking to myself, I got to do that more often. And the best thing is, I'm a fucking adult. All right? If I want to have ice cream in the morning, I can. Every now and then there's some things that go through my head where I'm like, no, I could do that. But I think a lot of us stop ourselves from having that kind of joy. You know? Like I remember I told someone once, like, oh yeah, I had like a turkey sub for breakfast one day. And they were like, what? And I'm like, why not? I could have French toast at night. My stomach doesn't give a shit. Okay? It just wants the food in there so it could have energy to move around. That's all it needs. That's all it needs. So yeah, turkey sub really hit the spot that one day. All right, yeah, so those are 5 big things right there. So just to recap. Okay, we're going to do a real quick recap here. These are 5 quick things you could do that'll instantly cheer you up if you're feeling in the dumps. Number 1, haircut. That's right, let's trim those sides. They're getting bushy. You'll feel a little bit better. You'll be walking more confident. Number 2, brand new underwear. Even socks. New underwear or socks. There's something with that soft feeling on your skin. You're feeling like, you know what? I kind of want to show these off. Maybe I'll get myself in a situation tonight. Right? And consensually. Be cool. Number 3, an everything shower. You know, we all have our routine showers. We take those 10-minute numbers. You got to go a 25-minute hard in the paint type of shower. And you know what I mean by hard in the paint. Number 4, watch a favorite show. Throw on something that makes you feel good. You want to watch like a little Sopranos, a little How I Met Your Mother, New Girl, Seinfeld, whatever you could throw on that just, it's in the background. You look up, you laugh a little bit, you remember good times, and you know it's going to be okay. You know it's going to be okay. And then finally, get yourself something good to eat. Number 5, get something sugary. You owe it to yourself. Life's short. Don't listen to all these idiots on the internet telling you, never have anything bad. It's processed. That's food coloring. Fuck you. I'm going to eat a big bowl of Fruit Loops and spill half of it on my chest. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. All right. So I hope that helps you in your time of need. Now, to switch gears here a little bit. I've been going political on the last few episodes, but I'm gonna hold off on it right now. We just don't know what's going on with what. These whole files, you know, a lot of people lately have been saying to me, Joe, why didn't Biden release them? I often wondered. I wanted him to. Again, I'm not in a minority. I think more and more people, especially the people not on the Trump side, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying everyone on the left is innocent of being a douche. They're not. I tried to summarize it this way. I was like, all right, the problem with America right now is the left is annoying and the right is kind of cunty, you know? But again, it's pretty clear to me. I think the one side really does overall, not the politicians. I'm talking about the people, because politicians are full of shit. Most of them suck. Like the vast majority. I don't care if you have an R next to your name, a D, or the occasional I. You're awful. But so that's why I kind of look to the policies a little bit. You know, which one's trying to help people eat and which one's not. That, you know, it was a really interesting thing. I saw this video where a guy was trying to get people to sign a petition to get free lunch for kids in, you know, grades like kindergarten through 8th grade at, you know, public schools or all schools even, I think. And and he went to a pro-life rally thinking that's the perfect spot. These people love children. They like babies. They like life. This is the spot. And so few signed. The vast majority of them were like, no. Proving that they really don't care about life and what it takes to have a happy one. You know what it takes to have a happy life at the very basic needs? Food in your belly, a roof over your head, like things like that. Because I always equated it to, you can't choose how you're born. You know, you can't choose to be born into a rich family. You can't choose to be born in a poor family. So as a society, we need to help children where we can. That's a given. Okay. I understand when people are like, well, these are able-bodied people who could work. I get your gripe there. I think it's a little misdirected, a little misguided. You know, yeah, for however many programs help a lot of people, there's going to be some people that take advantage of them. Same with at the top. You know, I don't get how people could be okay with people exploiting corporate loopholes and all these other loopholes to get themselves millions and millions more money. But the people at the bottom who are exploiting these things to get what? You know what I mean? I think people really need to look at the budget and understand that poor people welfare, for lack of a better phrase, versus corporate welfare or rich people welfare. It's really poor people socialism and rich people socialism. Or I don't like saying poor people because it's like, it makes it, I don't know, it's a bad connotation these days, but words are words. Fuck it. That's what they are. They don't have a lot of money. And it's just very different. Like SNAP benefits cost the average person like $36 a year. $36. That's nothing. What is that, $3 a month? I'll gladly give $3 a month to help people eat. But Joe, what about the ones who are taking advantage? I don't give a fuck. I don't fucking care. What do they make, a 50 cents of that $3 a month? So fucking what? Whereas corporate subsidies and corporate welfare essentially is like $300-$400 a year. It's a lot more money. And don't get me started on us making bombs to sell to one side of an argument and then selling bombs to the other side. So no matter what, we're like hedging our bets that way. It's disgusting. We could be better. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to stay positive as I talk about this stuff, but I know it can be difficult sometimes. So as far as this list, the reason Biden couldn't release it, from what I've read, and it seems pretty factual, was because it was an ongoing investigation. You can't release files for an ongoing investigation. Trump then, for some reason, closed that investigation and then said there are no files. And everyone's like, nah, there's some shit there. And he's like, now we're going to lock them away. So now both houses are voting to release them. What's going to happen there? How much of it's going to be redacted? Will there be executive orders hiding certain things? We're all going to see. But that's why I didn't really want to get too into it right now. I mean, it's Wednesday, November 19th. I'll have more information next week when when more information comes out. And I'll do like a little Thanksgiving episode. Maybe I'll come up. Maybe instead of releasing this on next Wednesday, I'll go a day early Tuesday, because a lot of you will be traveling on Wednesday and all that. And I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving, wonderful time with your family. If you're one of those dorks out there that's like, Thanksgiving started off evil, just shut the fuck up, because you know it's morphed into something else now. Okay? It's morphed into something else completely. I really hate when people do that with holidays. You know, like Christmas doesn't really celebrate the birth of Jesus anymore. You know, you might go to mass, but I'm pretty sure this is just about giving our loved ones presents. And I think JC would be cool with that. He's like, oh yeah, you're doing nice things for people? Great. I'm fine with that, right? I'm not a kid. I don't need my birthday celebrated like a fucking 4-year-old. All right. That's going to be the end of this week's podcast. Check out the Patreon. I just dropped a bonus episode there. There's been bonus episodes weekly. The audio for at least the next couple months are going to be strictly going there. I need to get the YouTube channel back and pumping. I got to figure out what happened with my YouTube channel. I got lazy with it. I got inconsistent, and that's on me, but that's going to change. So thank you for listening to the Joe Kilgallon Podcast, or watching the Joe Kilgallon Podcast, a.k.a. Kilgallon's Pub. Cheers to you and yours.